Patoy, Public Speaking, CRN 12951. There's a man by the name of James Jenkins who was arrested and served time for the assault of two sisters, both under the age of 8. Mr. Jenkins served his time and was released back into the community without any rehabilitation. Less than a year after his release, Mr. Jenkins was again arrested and charged with the sexual assault and molestation of 3 young girls, all under the age of 8. Mr. Jenkins, the night before court for these offenses, asked a guard for a razor so that he can shave to prepare for court the next day. Mr. Jenkins did not want the razor to shave. His plan was that he was going to perform a self-mutilation. Mr. Jenkins used the razor to self-castrate himself. When he was found and he was treated and he was asked why he had done the self-castration, he said because he knew that that was the only way that his urge to assault young girls would end. Statistics show that all sexual assaults are committed with a weapon 7% of the time, while it shows that 67% of all sexual assaults or molestations happen to juveniles under the age of 18, 34% of all sexual assaults happen to children under the age of 12, and 1 out of every 7 reported sexual assault happens to children under the age of 6. Some of the offenders were first-time offenders, but many were repeat offenders. While we can't stop sexual assault or repeat offenders of sexual assaults, but we can decrease it tremendously. We can decrease the number of repeated and predatory sexual assaults by requiring a mandatory sentence for all repeat and predatory molesters and rapists to be either chemically or surgically castrated. My resources are the New York Times, Washington Post, and the Justice Bureau of Statistics. Fred Butler, director of the Johns Hopkins Center for Sexual Disease and Disorder, says that castration is an effective control method for sexual offenders as it decreases sexual urges. 8 states currently offer castration as a sentence for sexual assault and for predatory and repeat offenders. And currently, Florida has a mandatory requirement of castration for all violent rapes, predatory, and repeat. And predatory includes child molestations because they go through the process of the stalking. So that's something that's done over a course of time, not just a random assault. A Danish study shows that the amount of repeat offenders that were castrated decreased 80% from 80% to 2.3% after castration alone. Castration with rehabilitation is needed because rape and assault is not necessary. It's not all a sexual offense. It is a violent offense. So the mental aspect of the assault needs to be addressed as well. Canadian researchers found that sexual offenders who received treatment prior to being released back into society, the re-offending rate was 6 times less of those who had rehab than those who did not. And the rate of repetitive assaults decreased 1/3 after treatment. We can't stop sexual predators. We can't spot them. There's no test to find out if this person carries a gene that would make them do this type of act. But we can require mandatory castration for repeat and violent sexual offenders.